Tonight, Stratford pushes back.
Our council, right from the start, had large concerns about this.
Against Ontario's strong mayor law.
The concern is not with our current mayor, the concern is for the future.
Why the city is taking a stand in court. Technology to keep the taps flowing.
We're working as quickly as we can with technology like this that will replace the failed components.
The first of Waterloo Region's quick fixes for the water capacity problem. Also, the Mars mishap that set off a long-distance repair mission.
You saw that something is not working or not normal. Then you looked at the pictures, woo.
Guelph researchers tap into an interplanetary problem.
Good evening. It could be a first in Ontario. Stratford City Council is pushing back against the Ford government's strong mayor legislation. They have filed a legal challenge against the law, which gives mayors broader powers in setting budgets, hiring municipal executives, even vetoing decisions. It's a law that's been imposed on more than 200 municipalities over the last few years. Let's bring in CTV's Colton Weens for more on this. Colton, this was a discussion almost a year in the making, and you had a chance today to speak with the councillor who led this push.
Well, Tony, Councillor Mark Hunter tells me the law was imposed on municipal councils across Ontario without their consent, and says the issue isn't with Stratford's current mayor, but more about the future and a series of powers that he believes are undemocratic.
I will call the question. All in favor? Opposed to any? That's unanimous and carried.
It was May 27th of last year when Stratford City Council unanimously signaled that it wanted to file a charter challenge against Ontario's strong mayor law.
I do see risks in having specifically the CAO role and the CLT roles being politically influenced by having one person responsible for implementing or removing.
And now, almost a year later, the city has filed a legal challenge against the provincial legislation, which has been imposed on more than 200 municipalities.
Our council, right from the start, has had large concerns about this, and we've been working quietly for the last year, including meetings with representatives from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. And we've unfortunately had no real progress in getting any changes implemented. And those centered around, one of our proposals was to make these powers voluntary. So if a council was struggling, not able to advance items forward, they could request that strong mayor powers be put in place and help try and solve the logjam that way.
In an email to CTV News, the spokesperson for the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing says mayors understand their communities best, and our government's strong mayor framework gave municipalities the tools they need to move faster on critical infrastructure such as housing and economic development. Adding strong mayor powers remain limited to advancing prescribed provincial priorities set out in regulation. The province would not comment further on Stratford's challenge as it is before the courts.
This was imposed on Stratford with no consultation, no forewarning, and it was just, here you go, deal with it.
Hunter says the current law eliminates majority rule from the council chamber and raises constitutional questions about effective representation on council.
So by removing that from our council chamber, that is in fact undemocratic in our opinion.
The city's legal challenge seeks to have the courts declare the law as having no force and effect. Hunter says Stratford's current mayor has delegated as much authority as he's able, and their concern isn't about him, but more about the future.
Certain municipalities have had challenges. I'm aware of one municipality where the mayor vetoed council's decision, and that led to less housing than would have been the case had council had the majority ruled.
Now, Hunter says there are some concerns about the cost of a legal challenge, but says Stratford does have the reserves to cover it and will also reach out to other municipalities to maybe share costs. The paperwork for the challenge has been filed and served on the province. The city's solicitor has suggested maybe a September court date, but no date has been set. Tony.
Okay, we'll watch that as it develops. Colton, thank you. CTV's Colton Weens reporting live. And time now for a first check on the weather on this Tuesday. Let's head over to Ashley Bacon in the studio for all the details. Feels like a change is brewing out there. It was certainly a nicer start to the day than we're ending it.
You got it, Tony. It was a beautiful start to the day. Warmer than we felt on Monday, a little less windy, but right now, rain is already starting to fall. We're seeing droplets in and around the region, and we're going to continue to see rain steadily fall throughout the next few hours and then again through the overnight. Let's take a look at our radar. This paints a better picture. We are seeing this system starting to make its way through. Now, at times through overnight, we are expecting that rain to be heavy, bringing with it the potential for thunderstorm activity. We might even see thunderstorm activity tomorrow. So this is just the start of a big system. As we take a look at what's happening right now, 13 degrees out there, a southerly wind at 20 kilometers an hour. So the wind has picked up a little over the last hour. Pretty much low teens for most of southwestern Ontario. So the temperatures are starting to drop a little bit as the nightfall comes through, Tony, but you're going to want to keep those umbrellas handy. The good news, as we talked about yesterday, is the weekend is looking like it'll be beautiful. Those details will come up, though.
There is light at the end of the tunnel this week. Okay, we'll get into that a little later. Ash, thanks so much. Next, an early season boating tragedy on Lake Erie. A father and his young son were pulled from the water yesterday off Long Point after they didn't return from an outing. Police continue to investigate, but experienced boaters are warning that the water at this time of year is dangerously cold. CTV's Jerry Dewan reports.
Emergency responders were called to the waters just west of Long Point around 4 Monday afternoon for a report of overdue boaters.
While emergency crews responded to the area, both individuals were located by a passing boater approximately 2 nautical miles from shore. The Canadian Coast Guard attended and recovered both individuals from the water.
A 53-year-old man and his 7-year-old son were pronounced dead a short time later.
Both were wearing life jackets at the time of the incident, and police are continuing to search for the boat they departed shore in.
Robert Kuznets owns Inner Bay Marina and Trailer Park near where the incident happened. He declined to go on camera out of respect for the family, but he warns that being in the water at this time of year brings a specific set of concerns.
Kuznets says his greatest concern for people on the lake at this time of year is the water temperature.
I did speak to the Canadian Coast Guard, and the waters were anywhere between 7 to 10 degrees yesterday. So again, it really comes down to the fact that if you are going to venture out in the water, make sure that you do have warm clothing. Make sure you have a plan in place. More importantly, though, make sure you let somebody know when you're coming back.
The other concern is that emergency services geared towards boaters don't go into full effect until the May long weekend. Sanchuk says in smaller communities, everyone feels the loss, especially when a child is involved.
I was speaking to some of the first responders, one of the paramedics last night and early this morning, and they know who this young boy is. And again, it affects everyone.
OPP are now searching for the canoe the victims were in and are asking boaters and residents to call if they spot the vessel. Near Long Point, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
At Queen's Park, new reports from the province's Auditor General include some troubling findings. One of the issues raised by the AG reports that commercial trucking schools are improperly training drivers who end up on Ontario's roads. CTV's Siobhan Morris has those details.
They're powerful machines rumbling down Ontario's roads and highways. But the Auditor General's raising new questions about the training some truck drivers are getting. Her office hired undercover students to sign up, mostly at career colleges. In 2 cases,
students were not taught key elements such as left turns at major intersections, reverse parking, and emergency stopping.
Students were told to sign off on training they'd never done. The Premier expects training schools to maintain standards.
And if that's not happening, we get wind of it, we will shut them down.
But the auditor found a quarter of schools hosting basic training programs had never been inspected at all. Others were still handing out certificates even after being barred from doing so.
We have been overhauling this over the past 2 years and continue to do whatever we can and to ensure that we have the highest standards.
Fraud in trucker licensing and testing have been well documented for years.
The government's not doing what they need to do to protect you, then you should be mad.
The auditor's spotlighting a gap in the money going to special education. Yes, it's gone up with inflation, but she notes schools are also seeing more children with more complex needs.
The funding is not keeping up with the growth, and that the school boards themselves are spending upwards of $200 million more on special ed than what they're receiving.
The Minister of Education feels the focus shouldn't be on a dollar figure, but
outcome outcome. On the surface, would more EAs make sense? Perhaps, but only if you look at the actual mix. What does that student require?
Calandra admits the ministry hasn't done a good job of tracking outcomes or setting standards for when a child with special needs is excluded from a classroom.
This report very clearly tells him what we have been saying, what parents have been saying, what educators have been saying. They are failing our children, and they are putting them in harm's way.
And that report from CTV's Siobhan Morris at Queen's Park. Well, the race is heating up to be the Canadian headquarters of the new Defence, Security and Resilience Bank. At least 4 cities are vying to host the international financial institution designed to fund defense projects and create thousands of jobs. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
Global finance and advanced innovation.
Toronto's bid to host the new Defence, Security and Resilience Bank was launched with a glitzy video and a full-court press.
We have Team Ontario, united to support Toronto.
The new defense bank could involve 40 countries. It could hold an estimated $135 billion US in assets and employ 3,500 people. Other than Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Ottawa are competing for the headquarters. Analysts say the winning city needs to have more than just financial expertise.
Good cultural sensibility. I think it needs to be able to communicate with different players in different countries.
Toronto is one of the most diverse cities on earth. People from every corner of the world come here.
The majority of the bank's member nations will be in Europe. Connections, Montreal's mayor says the city has.
The economics and the diplomacy. So we're the only city that can give both. The economic diplomacy that this bank needs.
But politics are at play. Depending on which party wins the Quebec election in the fall, there could be another referendum on Quebec's separation.
We're not going to engage in campaigns of fear, for starters. We have the strengths and the maturity to receive international organizations, bottom line.
The goal of the Defense Bank is to provide lower interest loans to smaller companies so they can develop technology and expand faster. Ottawa has dozens of innovative companies, but the capital's airport doesn't have many international flights. Not a problem with Vancouver, which could be a prime location to attract Asian nations to join.
We're the gateway to the Pacific. We actually are in the perfect time zone to bridge those gaps.
I think the headline for everybody that they need to know is that Canada will lead the world in defense finance.
The federal government has yet to lay out its criteria, nor has it set a deadline. But regardless of what city is selected, Canada is the big winner. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
We are just hours away from what could be a first in 18 years. The Kitchener Rangers could win the OHL Championship Series tonight on the road in Barrie. Well, coming up later, CTV's Alexandra Holyk will be checking in with fans at a watch party here at home as the excitement for puck drop builds.
Well, rain is on the way. Just how much and when it'll be heaviest, those details broken down with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
New technology that's supposed to help address Waterloo Region's water capacity problem has arrived. CTV's Karis Mapp has more on a type of ultrafiltration unit that's meant to help keep the taps flowing while the region works on permanent solutions.
This ultrafiltration unit is the first of 4 the region of Waterloo has purchased to combat constraints at the Mannheim water treatment plant.
We're working as quickly as we can with technology like this that will replace the failed components and bring us back on to full-line online capacity by next summer.
In February, Regional Council agreed to fund the $15 million plan.
Grand River water will be pumped and end up inside of our treatment system. It'll go through our filters and just filter out the constituents that aren't wanted, and then it will join the Mannheim treatment system for the second half of their treatment process.
This container is part of a pilot project that will test the technology before 3 more are added to the site.
This will expand from 25 liters per second to 50 liters per second within this containerized unit. The next 3 units are the same size, will have a capacity of 100 liters per second, boilerplate capacity.
The region didn't have to look far for the solution, with Laminar Water in Cambridge specializing in these types of projects.
We build and deploy containerized water treatment plants, so mobile water treatment systems that can be sent for disasters, emergencies.
We didn't want to wait for the 4 years to rebuild the plant. This allows us to move fast track forward from a 4-year deployment to 18 months.
Before the initial container can be delivered to Mannheim next month, piping and concrete pads are being laid to ensure the soil can accommodate the 100,000-pound containers.
We have to be thoughtful about where we're putting this one, where we're putting other ones, and the upgrades that we're going to make to Mannheim over the next few years.
These units won't solve the looming water crisis in the Mannheim service area, where major new building permits are still on hold in Kitchener, Waterloo, parts of Cambridge, and in some townships. A report assessing overall supply will be released on June 3rd.
We still don't have all the water that we need to go into full development, but there may be some partial development that may be able to move forward using this risk-based assessment.
Regional representatives say the units are one of many solutions they're exploring to address water concerns. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Cambridge.
Well, the winter that just wouldn't end has cost taxpayers across southern Ontario a whole lot of money. It cost millions of dollars to move snow, millions of dollars more than it did in years past. Those additional costs have left many Ontario communities digging deep into their reserves. CTV's Scott Miller reports.
It was a winter to remember across Midwestern Ontario, with tons of road closures, school bus cancellations, and, of course, snowstorms.
This past winter, we found that it was almost relentless, one storm after another. And obviously a huge shout out to our staff who worked extensively, long shifts, and, had very little time off.
All that extra time took a toll on Huron County's winter maintenance budget that saw $5.5 million spent on labor and materials to keep the roads clear, much higher than the $4.1 budgeted.
It reflects the crazy amount of snow we got this year.
Khalid says Huron County exceeded their budgets in everything from county winter maintenance, materials like salt and sand, and external winter maintenance contracts. In neighboring Bruce County, nearly $4.1 million was spent to move 460 centimeters of snow off of Bruce County's roads, higher than budgeted, but much more than the nearly $3 million spent in the winter of 2024, when the 5-year average of about 350 centimeters of snow fell.
So we're 110 centimeters more snow than average last year. So it's no great surprise that we would have spent a little bit more than we expected.
Grey County was nearly $2 million over its winter maintenance budget, and Owen Sound nearly $1 million over its snow clearing budget. So where does that money come from? Winter maintenance reserves, which every county and municipality has. Money not spent during mild winters is set aside to help cover for winters like this past one.
Fingers crossed. Let's hope that next year is easier than the last couple of years. You're right. It's been a tough couple of winters. Everybody knows it. And but we'll be ready one way or the other. We'll be certainly building our budgets based on what we've experienced in the last few years. Those averages that I gave you will be going up because we've had more snowfall in the last couple of years.
Snowplow drivers will be hoping for a milder winter as well. In Huron County, it took 40% more labor hours to keep the roads clear than the prior winter, which not only upped the cost, but the time spent to do the job.
This past winter has definitely taken a toll on both the budget and how much effort we had to put in.
In Midwestern Ontario, Scott Miller, CTV News.
All right, let's leave those scenes behind because I think we are all over those scenes from the winter of 2025, 2026. Instead, we get a bit of a rainy day in May today and temperatures that are a little lower than where we'd like to see them at this point in the spring. But there is good news on the way for the upcoming long weekend. Ashley's back with our 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Also coming up, Canadian winemakers benefiting from the ban on U.S. booze, but not as much as they feel they could be. And next, when census data hits close to home, organizations in Waterloo region who were depending on the information from the national survey that is due today. All right, Ash is back with a look at the forecast, and it's the 12th of May, so you were noting yesterday we are almost in the middle of May right now. I feel like we haven't really gotten dragged past about the mid-April feeling out there for weather.
No, certainly we have not. I mean, it has been much cooler than I think most people would anticipate or want this time of year, myself included.
Yet we're still watching hockey, so it kind of all works.
And you know, I was speaking with someone earlier this week, and I said maybe Mother Nature is just waiting for the Rangers to win it all before we make the switch to summer. Which, in that case, by the end of the week,
end of this week,
we're here.
Mother Nature doesn't think it's going to 7.
No, I think we're going to wrap things up tonight, hopefully, because
like
the warm weather's coming. Let's take a look outside again. You can see it is already starting to rain really well. I think we're looking at uptown Waterloo,
yes, we are.
It is beautiful out there, even though it is a bit wet. I mean, it's not snow. We just saw that Scott Miller pack, and my goodness, was there so much snow in that winter we just had. So by comparison, I'll take this any day. I mean, as we take a closer look to our future cast, though, it really paints a big picture of this storm. So we're just starting to get it now. We are going to start to see heavier stuff move through over the next few hours. We could at times see some thunderstorms roll through, likely, if that's going to happen, very early hours of Wednesday. So we are going to see that system continue through the next few hours and into your Wednesday and into Thursday. So it will be a wet day tomorrow. Make sure to have all of your umbrellas, all your rain jackets, everything on hand. You're going to need it. Across the country right now, 19 in Vancouver with a bit of sunshine, 18 in Victoria. On the other side of the Rockies, a very nice day in Alberta, 21 in Edmonton and Fort McMurray, and 22 in Calgary. As we move through the prairie provinces, 22 in Saskatoon, Regina 21, Winnipeg sitting at 16. So warmer on the west coast. As we move east, though, things are cooling off a little bit. 12 in Montreal, 10 in Quebec City. And on the East Coast, it's raining in Corner Brook and St. John's, 4 for Corner Brook and 8 in St. John's. Here we're sitting at 11 degrees. As I mentioned just earlier in the show, most of southwestern Ontario is in, just above that 10-degree range. So it is cooling off out there. Overnight, we are looking to get down to around 5 degrees. 10 to 15 millimeters of that rain is expected to fall through the overnight hours. And I'm not sure if you can pick it up on the microphone, but I am starting to hear it on our roof. Tomorrow we are getting up to 14 degrees with an early morning risk of a thunderstorm. As we take a closer look at our almanac, back in 2022 we reached 28.8, so nowhere near that today with a high of 13. Normal for this time of year is 19, but as we get a closer look at our 7-day forecast, we are getting closer to that 19-degree range at the end of the week. Showers continuing into Thursday, but it's Friday where things start to look up. A mix of sun and cloud and 19, but check out those temperatures. Saturday, Sunday, 24, 22, and by your long weekend Monday, 25 degrees. Oh, that feels so great to say that, Tony. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, showers for your Wednesday and 15, 17 for Thursday, 21 by Friday, and then 27, 26, and 28 for your long weekend. I know it says around 30% chance for showers there, but that's not very much. So just get out and enjoy those hot temperatures. In southern Georgian Bay, not quite as hot, but still very nice. 10 for your Wednesday, 12 on Thursday, but Saturday, Sunday, 20 degrees and 22 on Monday. I love to see it. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Dave, who took this on a bike ride from Brantford to Port Dover earlier this month, and the bridge is in Waterford. And what a beautiful snapshot of the area, Dave. Thank you so much for sharing.
What a nice way to welcome the world sort of opening up to spring with a ride like that through Brant and Norfolk County. Some beautiful scenery down that way.
Absolutely, and this weekend might be a great option for you to take another ride if you got time to do so.
Yeah, I'm liking the sound of 24 degrees.
Oh.
It feels like it might as well be 30 with a temperature like that.
Seeing temperatures like that makes this weather host very happy.
Yes, and all of us.
Yes.
Thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
Well, today's the day Canadians are supposed to be finished filling out their census forms. It helps the government with planning and understanding the makeup of the country. But this year, some are using the survey as a form of protest and refusing to complete it. CTV's Heather Wright explains.
During the last census in 2021, roughly 98% of Canadians filled out the survey, a vital tool according to Statistics Canada that helps governments make informed decisions.
I do feel betrayed by the government.
But some are choosing not to fill out this year's census as a way to protest the Carney government in the series of floor crossings that helped the Liberals secure a majority government last month.
We voted for a minority government. We didn't vote for a majority government. Why can't we have a say?
While Canadians have been asked to fill out the census by today, it's not technically a deadline. If people don't fill it out, they could receive follow-up phone calls or in-person visits until it is completed, which is required by law. Those who refuse could receive a fine of up to $500.
It's a key part of our democracy, but it's also fundamental for the basic services the government provides. You're going to want to know where the population lives if you're going to place a school, a hospital, a fire station, a police station. If you're planning transit routes, you need to know where people live and where they work.
Jeff Balby is the Assistant Chief Statistician for Statistics Canada and says all data collected is de-identified and securely kept within the organization.
We are absolutely required under law to keep all of the data that we collect here at StatCan within the walls of Statistics Canada so we can guarantee the privacy and confidentiality.
Statistics Canada says it is still too early to know how many people have refused the census, but they say according to preliminary numbers, the response rate this year is comparable to in the past. Heather Wright, CTV News, Brampton, Ontario.
Local organizations in Waterloo Region say filling out this year's census can help them and regional residents. They say knowing who lives here informs decisions on policies and programs that help to connect communities with the services they may need. CTV's Heather Senerin has that part of the story.
According to the last census in 2021, 1 in 4 residents in Waterloo Region were immigrants, up by more than 22% from 2016 and higher than the national average by 6%.
We definitely had one of the fastest rates of growth in Canada, largely driven by immigration.
Waterloo Region saw a big boom in international students in recent years before the federal government implemented a cap in 2024.
As they've started to bring down immigration levels to try to stabilize a little bit the growth happening across communities.
The Waterloo Region Immigration Partnership collaborates with 70 organizations across the region and says this year's census numbers will help them help local newcomers.
To make decisions about, the changes we need to make to policies, to programs, to services, and what investments are needed in our community.
Local governments predict Waterloo Region could get to 1 million people by 2040. But the nonprofit Waterloo Region Community Foundation says it's more than just building the right infrastructure to accommodate that.
But if we're not building a social infrastructure, a way for people to actually connect with each other, we're just going to be bigger. We're not going to be better. We're not going to be more connected or more sustainable or more equitable.
Social infrastructure needed, especially for a community that was flagged for being younger than both the provincial and national averages in the last census.
We have the opportunity by a younger population. We also have some challenges because as a generation changes, it's harder to get people to connect with a place.
Both organizations say filling out the census can help shape the future for all residents in Waterloo Region.
It gives us an opportunity to serve the community better, and it gives us an opportunity to tell the story of this community in a factual way.
Heather Senerin, CTV News, Kitchener.
A Mars mission right here in southwestern Ontario. Just ahead, CTV's Spencer Turcotte with the Guelph team that is helping fix a problem a world away.
A Day is back on 105.3 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff KP and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000 every weekday. 5K a day. Virgin Radio.
The buy local push and the ban on U.S. booze has proven fruitful for many Canadian winemakers, but interprovincial trade barriers and high taxes are limiting their growth potential. Canadian wineries say they could be contributing more to the economy if more barriers were addressed. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
If there's false barriers erected between provinces, it doesn't make sense.
does it.
Winemaker Tim Kepfer would like to expand the reach of his small winery.
There's lots of room to do better. From our perspective, there's never been infrastructure to ship wine to other provinces, so that market's still young and inaccessible to a winery my size.
Billions of dollars in untapped economic benefit is being left on winery floors, according to a new report. Despite a national push to dismantle interprovincial trade barriers, many persist and are hindering the Canadian wine sector's ability to grow. Canadian wines currently make up just under 29% of domestic wine sales, contributing $10 billion annually to the GDP. But new analysis estimates that increasing the market share for made-in-Canada wine to 51% could grow the sector's GDP contribution to $13.7 billion a year. Halfway between Ottawa and Toronto, the county is home to dozens of wineries, producing award-winning sparkling, delicate reds, crisp whites, and innovative natural wines. But despite provinces' U.S. booze bans opening up shelf space, many local producers say there's still challenges gaining access.
There are so many different rules between all our regulatory systems that it is actually very difficult to market that to a consumer and to explain what is actually going on. At the end of the day, it should be, would you like to buy a bottle of wine from your local winery? Yes, here you go, and have a good time.
The industry wants a federal strategy and a reduced tax burden. Right now, according to Wine Growers Canada, mid-size wineries pay on average 14 times more in excise duty than their U.S. competitors.
That means that winery in the United States has a greater chance of investing in their business, growing their business, whereas the winery in Ontario, or any place in Canada for that matter, would face a significant impact.
The federal government says it's done its part.
We think the provinces need to do more. We've talked to the provinces about moving faster.
Wineries across the country sustain more than 99,000 jobs. Minister LeBlanc said today he agrees it's in the national interest to let the wine from these vines flow more freely. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Prince Edward County.
Meanwhile, a U.S. chain is planning on making a comeback in Canada, and it hopes to take more than a Timbit-sized chunk out of Canadian coffee staple Tim Hortons. CTV's Adrian Gobriel checks out the comeback and whether Canadians will pitch their double-double to dunk a donut.
An iconic American brand has its sights set on taking a bite out of Canada's lucrative market for everything donuts and coffee.
The response we're getting today, I think we're going to probably be able to open one Dunkin' every week.
That's about 52 Dunkin' Donuts popping up across Canada per year beginning in 2027. Canadian food restaurant operator Foodtastic, that also runs other popular chains across the country, says it signed a master franchising agreement with Dunkin's American owner Inspire Brands to bring hundreds of locations north of the border. The last Dunkin' in Canada previously closed up shop in 2018 after Quebec franchisees successfully sued the company for not sufficiently promoting the brand.
They're going to slowly sort of nurture the brand in Canada and try to find a unique sort of flavor, unique menu for Canadians.
Just how that will land on the palate of coffee-craving Canadians has sparked heated donut shop debate.
Well, when I'm in the States, I enjoy the Dunkin' Donuts.
Dirty secret.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't say no to Tim's.
Whatever tastes better, you're in.
Yes.
We would definitely try out the donuts.
Foodtastic, who now holds Dunkin's rights in Canada, is Canadian, and they're pouring cold water over any anti-American impulses.
We're based in Montreal and Toronto. We pay taxes here. The franchisees are all going to be Canadians.
It'll be interesting to see if Canadians pick up on Dunkin' and what happens to Tim's results as a result of this move.
CTV News reached out to Tim Hortons' parent company, asking if they plan to poke a hole in Dunkin' Donuts' lofty cross-country plans. They've yet to respond to our email.
Foodtastic's CEO tells us the company plans to spend the first 24 months opening up Dunkin' Donut locations in the Greater Toronto Area, as well as in Montreal, before setting their sights on the rest of the country. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Okay, it's time to recap our top stories. Leanne Evans is in studio with us. And Leanne, Stratford City Council's pushing back on Ontario's strong mayor legislation.
Yeah, the city says it has filed a legal challenge against the provincial law, which has now been imposed on more than 200 municipalities. Stratford Council says it undermines the ability for elected officials to have an equal voice and raise constitutional questions about effective representation on council. The city's legal challenge seeks to have the courts declare the law as having no force in effect. A father and his 7-year-old son have died following a boating tragedy on Lake Erie yesterday afternoon. Crews were called to the waters just west of Long Point before 4 p.m. The pair were located by a passing boater about 2 nautical miles from shore. Police say both the father and child were wearing life jackets. The investigation is ongoing.
Tragic story. And Leanne, online we are watching some developing news locally right now, too.
Yeah, a road in Woolwich Township is closed this afternoon after construction poles toppled to the ground. Police say a transport truck driver hit a support wire on Northfield Drive East between Jiggs Hollow Road and Sawmill Road. You can read the latest on the investigation and get up-to-date information on that road closure. Scan the QR code, download the CTV News app, or as always, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Leanne Evans, appreciate it as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A NASA Mars mission took an unexpected turn recently when a large rock hitched a ride on the Curiosity rover. The problem? The rock was stuck to a robotic arm holding a key scientific instrument, one that's monitored by researchers at the University of Guelph. And as CTV's Spencer Turcotte reports, fixing the problem meant doing so from more than 200 million kilometers away.
Repairing a robot with a rock stuck to its arm sounds like a tall task to begin with. But what do you do when that robot is on Mars and you're not?
You saw that something is not working or not normal. Then you looked at the pictures, woo.
NASA's Curiosity rover found itself in a sticky situation, all thanks to its curiosity. It drilled a sample from a 28-pound rock, but when the rover retracted its arm, the entire rock lifted from the ground, firmly attached.
We are looking at rocks, we are figuring out what they are made of, how they look, and once in a while we drill into the rock to extract powder to be analyzed by 2 big instruments looking for mineralogy and one looking for even organic material.
It's not as simple as telling the robot to shake it off. And with so much vital equipment on the rover, including the University of Guelph's alpha particle X-ray spectrometer, this became much more than a strange moment caught on camera.
We're talking about distances so far away that you can have 7 to 10 minute long lapses in communication. So an entire strategy had to be come up with. To my knowledge, they have not yet had this problem.
NASA engineers tried vibrating the drill to remove the Martian rock. No luck. Then they repositioned the arm. Still, the rock refused to let go. But after about a week and multiple attempts, the rock was freed, sending it crashing back to the red planet's surface.
Woo.
The rover survived without damage, as did the scientific instrument operated by U of J researchers.
I think people are nervous when you have an issue like this. Is this the end of the Curiosity rover? Well, in this case, it wasn't. We were able to push through and continue to gather data from it for hopefully years to come.
So Curiosity can now roll on with its Mars mission, making sure it leaves no stone unturned. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
The World Cup is fast approaching, so how ready is Toronto? A look at where the city's to-do list stands now, just with a month to go.
I'm Alexandra Holyk at Moose Winooski's in Kitchener, where Rangers fans are gearing up for Game 4 of the OHL Championship. The Blue Shirts in Barrie and just 1 win away. We'll show you how fans here at home are cheering them on.
The FIFA World Cup is now just a month away, with Toronto set to host its first match on June 12th. Preparations are underway all across the city, but how close is it to being complete? CTV's Raheem Ladani looks into that.
A police motor squad shut down parts of several highways this morning, but no head of state or foreign minister was being escorted. It was a training exercise for the FIFA World Cup.
Public safety is paramount, along with the people that we are escorting.
With 30 days to go, letter by letter, BMO Field is coming down, transforming into Toronto Stadium. FIFA now controls the site, and there's still a lot of work to get done. City staff do feel they're in a good position after this past weekend's test run, when nearly 45,000 fans were on hand for a TFC match. But improvements need to be made.
How people get in and out, how we're managing the flow of crowd. We want to make some improvements to signage. We had some lineups around concessions and restrooms.
One of the biggest question marks is still, how will local residents and the hundreds of thousands of visitors get around the city? Over the weekend, fans were stuck trying to board transit after the match.
Think about the packed can of sardines right now. It's literally madness right now.
The TTC says they added more than 24 subway trains and streetcars, but need to have more staff on hand to help direct people. However, a potential TTC job action could impact riders if the agency doesn't reach a deal with its electrical and signal workers.
All of these agencies can work together, so we're hoping to settle the labor issues as quickly as possible so that that's not a question mark throughout the month of FIFA.
Metrolinx has announced it will increase GO train service to every 15 minutes on Lakeshore West and East throughout most of the day during the World Cup. But adding to the congestion will be road closures. There will be a number of them on match days, creating heavy traffic for families driving down for FanFest.
I know people have concerns, obviously, about how busy it's going to be, but as kind of a commuter, I don't mind. I'm not the one driving, fortunately.
Meanwhile, for those who live and work in Fort York and Liberty Village, the city says it's working on an access-only traffic plan to help minimize their disruption. The city still has a $5 million funding shortfall after backtracking and making the FIFA FanFest free. A new batch of those tickets will be released this Friday at 10 a.m. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
Speaking of exciting sports moments, we'll check in on Rangers Nation in a moment. First, over to Ash.
Well, lots of sports happening tonight and for the next few weeks, but let's also focus on the rain. 10 to 15 millimeters headed our way through overnight. What tomorrow will look like, all of those details just ahead. Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Then take a break from that. Check out Celebrity Jeopardy All-Stars at 8, Match Game at 9, and then it's back-to-back Big Bang Theory to cap your night off.
99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
Okay, we are going to take a look at Wake Up weather now for your Wednesday. Middle of the week almost here.
It's going to be a wet start to Wednesday, and let's take a quick look at our Wake Up weather board. Just to reiterate it, showers on the way, around 10 to 15 millimeters, potential for some thunderstorms in the early hours of Wednesday as well. So do take care and be safe out there tomorrow.
Okay, and finally for us tonight, 3 down. One more win to go. The Kitchener Rangers are in Barrie tonight. They're looking to lock down that Memorial Cup ticket and secure their first OHL Championship in 18 years.
And fans here at home will be cheering them on and watching closely.
Sure will. We're going to check in now with CTV's Alexandra Holyk, who's live at the Moose Winooski's watch party in Kitchener. Couple minutes till puck drop. Alexandra, what's the energy like out there right now?
Well, Tony, Ashley, tomorrow's forecast may call for rain, but tonight's forecast here is red, white, and blue. Excitement is in the air, and in the last hour, fans have been trickling into the restaurant here, proudly wearing, I might add, their Kitchener Rangers gear, of course, ready for the big game. Now, the Rangers have dominated the series against the Barrie Colts so far, leading 3-0, so it's really do or die for Barrie tonight. And the Colts have shown that they won't go down without a fight, of course, forcing a double OT in Game 3 on Sunday. And they have been able to bounce back from this before. In the last round against Brantford, they came back from a 3-1 deficit and won the the series, so really anything is possible here tonight. Now, if the Rangers win, it'll be their first OHL Championship title since 2008. That's 18 years ago, and they'll come back home with the J. Ross Robertson Cup. Now, fans here at Moose Winooski's tell us they're hoping for that big win.
A little stressed and nervous for our team, but definitely excited as hell that we are here.
A little bit nervous. I hope that they can just, as much as it would be nice to see them at home to do it, it's better if they can just get it done tonight.
Really need to stay out of the penalty box, need to be on our best. So we just can't be letting our guard down.
I think it's going to be really tight tonight. Low score, but we'll see. As much as I don't want to say it, I'd like to see them lose tonight so we can see them at home again.
Like I said, lots of excitement here, maybe some nerves, but there's a lot riding on both sides of the rink, and we'll have the highlights from the game and the fans later at 11:30. Tony?
We sure will. Alexandra Holyk live at Moose Winooski's in Kitchener. And Ashley, I got to wondering, not to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but if the Rangers win tonight, or if they win this series at all and advance to the Memorial Cup, who might they be taking on?
It's a good question to have, Tony.
It's in Kelowna, BC, so obviously the Kelowna Rockets, as the host team, they get a buy-in.
Yes.
But we're going to keep an eye on two other games tonight. In the QMJHL, it's Moncton in Chicoutimi. That series is tied at 1.
Okay.
And in the Western Hockey League, it's Everett at Prince Albert. That series also tied at 1. So a little time to figure out who the opponents would be still.
I love playoff hockey.
Oh, it's great.
This is so
it's great.
good.
Yeah, Memorial Cup starts a week and a half from now, but the OHL Championship Series could be decided tonight. We'll have more at 11:30. Have a good night.